Okay, good day to you. Right now we want to look at construction of ellipse, which is one of the loci. Construction of ellipse, there are various ways by which we can construct an ellipse. The one we want to try now is construction of ellipse by concentric circles method, or it can also be referred to as auxiliary circles method. Okay, so there are various ways, as I've said before. You can use concentric circles method or auxiliary circles method. You can also use rectangular method. You can use approximate method. You can use rhombus method, and so on. But here we are going to look at how to construct an ellipse using concentric circles method. We have a question here. The question says we are to construct an ellipse. We are to construct an ellipse by concentric circles method. Take major axis 100 millimeters. Major axis. The minor axis is given as 60 millimeters. Okay, so that is all that we were given. 60 millimeters, and major axis is 100 millimeters, minor axis is 60 millimeters. Okay, let me write it here. We have the major axis 100, minor axis 60, all in millimeters. Okay, now let's begin the construction. The first thing you want to do is to draw the two concentric circles. Concentric circles are circles with the same center but different radii. So I'm going to draw the two concentric circles, taking these major and minor axes as the diameter of the circles. Okay. Now, first of all, I'm going to draw the center lines for the circles. Center lines for the circles. Remember how we draw center lines: short and long, short and long. Okay. Then I will draw the vertical center line as well. Draw the vertical center line as well. At any point, let me draw it around here, because I don't know how big the circle would be. Let me draw it here to save time, to save space. Okay, the same thing you did before. Now we are going to draw the circles. I'm going to draw the smaller circle first with the minor axis 60 millimeters. So I'm going to set my compass to the radius. This 60 means diameter, so I'm going to set my compass to half of that diameter, which is the radius. That will give me 30 millimeters. Set your compass to 30 millimeters, half of that 60 given. Then come to the center here. Then draw the circle. Thin circle. Now we take the major axis as diameter again. So set your compass to radius of this. Radius of this will be 50 millimeters. So I'll set my compass to 50 millimeters. Since diameter is 100, radius is half of the diameter, 50 millimeters. 50 millimeters. So this is my 50 millimeters. Come again to the center of the circle and draw the second circle. These two circles are called concentric circles because they have the same center but different radii. Now, after that, the next step is to divide the circumference of the larger circle into 12 equal parts. This is the larger circle. So what are you going to use? We want to divide the circumference of this larger circle into 12 equal parts. Set your compass to the radius of the larger circle. So I still have the radius of my compass. So this is the radius of the larger circle. Now from each point on the circumference of the larger circle, draw arcs both sides. Can you see? Then move to the next point. This is the next point on it. The same radius. Draw an arc here. Draw an arc here. Then move to the next point. Draw an arc here. Draw an arc here. Then move to the last point. Draw an arc here. Draw an arc here. Remember, you just need to draw arcs both sides at each point on the circumference. Now with that, we can easily divide our circle into 12 equal parts by using our ruler to connect the opposite arcs. So I'm going to join these opposite arcs with my ruler. I'm using this as a ruler, okay? You can use your ruler for this. The opposite arcs should be able to connect together. So I will do this one also. Connect this as well. And the next one also. Connect this. And then the last one, I'll connect. Okay. Now I will label the points. Label this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now the next point now to do is to draw vertical lines from point 1 to 12 and draw horizontal lines from points where the radiating lines cut the inner circle to intersect the vertical lines. Okay, now the first thing is to draw vertical lines from each point on this larger circle. Draw vertical lines from each point on this larger circle. Now, to draw a vertical line, if you look at this, if your connection is correct actually, a line should be able to connect 12 and point 12 and point 2 together, giving you a good vertical line. Okay, but we don't want to do that kind of a shortcut. So I'm going to start point 1. I'm supposed to start from point 1, but I will rather not draw point 1. Okay, so you leave point 1 here. Leave point 1. Move to point 2. Because if I draw vertical line at point 1, it will go outside the circle. Can you see that? It will go outside the circle. If I draw it down also, it will go outside the circle. So I'm not going to draw for point 1. So I'll go to point 2. If I draw it up, it will go outside the circle. So I'll draw it down. So that's how you know whether you are drawing it up or you draw it down. It should not go outside the circle. So just draw it as long as you can draw it. There's no particular measurement for it, but make sure it is thin so that you can erase excess lines later. So I'll move to point 3. Draw a vertical line at point 3. Make sure you use your instrument correctly. Can you see? I'm using my set square. My t square plus my set square to draw this vertical line. This will give you accurate vertical line. So point 4, you can see point 4 is already vertical. There's a vertical line at point 4 already, so I'll move to point 5. So point 5 also, I'll draw it down. Point 6 also, I will draw it down. Now point 7 also, if I draw it up, it will go outside. If I draw it down, it will go outside, so I will not draw it. So I'll move to point 8. Point 8, I will draw it up. If I draw it down, it will go outside the circle, so I will draw it up. Okay, point 9 as well. I will draw it up. Point 10 already. There's a vertical line there, so I will leave that. Point 11. I will draw it up. Then point 12. I will draw it up. Now, we have drawn vertical lines at every point on the circumference of the larger circle. Now we are going to draw horizontal lines from the points where the radiating lines cut the inner circle. These are the radiating lines, these radial lines. The point where the radial lines cut the inner circle. For example, this is a point here, there's a point here, there's a point here, there's a point here. All these points where these radial lines cut the inner circle. You have to draw horizontal lines there at those points to intersect with the vertical line, corresponding vertical line. So if I draw a horizontal line here, it will intersect this vertical line to give me a point here. So let me do that. So I will move my T-square to this point, then draw this to intersect this line. So this has given me a point here. This is one of my points that I need for my curve. So I will erase the excess line. Like I said, you can always erase excess line. So this line is longer, is too long. So I will erase the excess line. I've gotten the point that I need there. So I'll move to the next point. This is another point on the circumference of the smaller circle. So I'll move my set square to that point. Okay. Then I will draw the horizontal line. So that will give me another point here. So I'll erase all the excess lines later. Now at this point we have a vertical line here also. So I'm going to draw, this is the point, this is the corresponding point on the smaller circle. So I'm going to draw a vertical line, a horizontal line at this point as well, to intersect this one at this point. So this is my point here. Then move to point 6. This is my point here for 6. Then point 7, there's no line at point 7. So I'll move to point 8. So this is the point, this is corresponding point for 8. So I'll draw a horizontal line at this point to intersect this vertical line at this point. Then okay, so I've been able to get all my points. You can see the point where the horizontal line and the vertical line meet are the points for my ellipse. Okay, which will include point 1 and point 7. Okay, so these are the points. Now I'm going to use my free hand to draw it, but you should use your French curve as a starter. If you are a starter here, you should use your French curve to connect the points. In a set of French curve, there are 3 sets there. some even have more. So you can find the appropriate curve that will at least connect 3 points together, giving you what you want. So I'm going to use my free hand in my own case here. So I'm going to connect these points together. I'm going to start here. Okay. Okay. Make sure it passes through those points exactly. Like I said, it is advised that you use your French curve to do this connection. Okay. Good. So this is it. This is what we are looking for. This is how to construct ellipse using concentric circles method. Thank you for watching. God bless you.